I think the biggest reason conversations break down is people just don't know how to listen. It's just not something that we teach.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Frank.
Today, it's all about rebuilding trust and connection.
Indeed, guys. And we have Lauren Hug and Karole Campbell with us today to share how dialogue and relationships strengthen community.
Let's get encouraged.
Yeah, let's do that.
My biggest challenge was always in my own head.
Talk about that.
It is fascinating to watch people who seem very, very different have a conversation together, see the humanity in the person sitting across the table from them, and come to very similar solutions.
When Haiti had the earthquakes or floods or whatever
Yeah.
horrible things in Haiti, that the Red Cross made $1 billion because, I don't know, Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama or somebody put out a campaign.
You can start right now. You can start with something really small. Whoever you're having challenges with, whoever you've written off, go ahead and give them a call and try to have coffee or have a conversation.
Welcome to Be Encouraged, Colorado's voice for growth and good. I'm Frank.
I'm Lisa.
Yes, she is. How you doing today?
I'm
Lisa?
awesome. How are you?
Well, with you, I've always got room to grow, but I'm glad
Frank.
to be here. So, what are we saying about today's show?
So sorry, that's your part.
I just threw you off, didn't I? Right?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's your part. Your name's here.
I know. They messed up.
They messed up,
So
so
do
it's
it
my
again.
part.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to start over. Okay, because,
We're totally good.
yeah, because they threw, the old dude does by the rules,
Yeah.
right? So, here we go. Well, welcome to Be Encouraged, Colorado's voice for growth and good. I'm Frank.
I'm Lisa.
Hey, today's show is sponsored by The Hive, a platform connecting purpose-driven dreamers to the experts who want to champion them. The Hive is where impactful visions are showcased and connected with quality support. And our guy that owns The Hive is in studio with us. He's off camera, but he's a handsome dude.
Yes.
We just throw that in for free. Yeah, your wife will be glad I said that,
Yep.
so I put you out there. Now, visit The Hive at thehive.vision. We left a flyer for you guys. Make sure to take those with you when you leave, would you please?
We'll do that.
So today we're talking about something our communities desperately need. How we build trust, understanding, and connection across differences.
Oh my, isn't that the truth, Lisa?
Yes.
Oh wow, yeah, every community needs that. And we're going to start right here because this, I think, will lead our conversation into the places that we want to go today, ladies. Lauren Hug, thanks for the hug. Can you believe someone actually has a name? Lauren Hug.
You know, we have a
I
whole
made it up.
hug campaign. You know that, right?
I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to
Love
join us
hugs.
one day.
Yes.
Hugging at the Hug campaign, right? Yes. Lauren, since you are our, what do we call our show?
Panel host.
Panel host today. Yeah, you didn't even know that, did you?
Did you get promoted?
Everywhere she goes, she gets
I know,
promoted.
right?
Right?
She's Lauren Hug.
Yeah, right. And we're promoting her today as well. So, Lauren, share with us the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome so far in the journey
Oh, like as being an entrepreneur?
of
Or
life.
Life?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big question.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge. I mean, being a single mom, pretty big challenge.
Oh, yeah. I've been there twice.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
Yeah, trying to navigate communities that don't necessarily have resources that are built for people that want to be professional but also be parents is a challenge. So I think I've always tried to sort of work my way around that, right? Like, it didn't exist, so I made a thing that fit for my family, and that's how I ended up in business for myself, because I wanted to spend time with my kiddos, but also be professionally fulfilled and give back to community, all of the things, right? And that has led me to really want to be working on solutions that make sure that more people can do that, people that maybe don't have the same networks or safety nets that I have built in through my family, through my education, through other things. How do we create an environment that everybody gets to do this? And it's one of the reasons why I like working with Carol, because she works on similar things.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. No idealism there, but you know.
So much.
Yeah.
So much.
Practical idealism.
I'm
Practical
a realist about how things work, but I believe that they can work differently.
I believe that as well,
Totally.
and they have to.
Yeah.
You know, they really have to. No, Carol, I'm gonna ask you the same question. You know, it's so good seeing you.
It's good seeing you too. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
And I get to finally meet you.
I know, right?
Yes.
This is great.
The legend.
So, oh God, yeah, I don't know. That feels like a promotion.
Carol with a K.
Yeah.
She's a legend.
Yeah. So like Lauren, I'm a single mother as well, but actually I have learned in the last couple of years that actually my biggest challenge was always in my own head. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
talk about that.
Oh,
Yes.
so negative self-talk, setting expectations, thinking, and I've overcome it over the last, 20, 30, 40 years. But yeah, pretty much every obstacle I've ever faced, I have either made worse by my own behaviors, attitudes, that sort of thing, who I've associated with, whatever else. So yeah, no, it's, I will jokingly say the voices in my head, and I don't mean it like that, but yeah.
There are voices in our
It's true,
heads.
totally. Have you
Yeah.
heard his story? I mean, those voices
Yeah,
were
no,
real.
they're
Yeah.
terrible, and it's and talking about, as we get into the conversation about building trust and whatever, that when I've been in a platform of I'm not good enough, therefore everybody else sucks, versus like we're all trying to figure it out.
Yes.
That's a whole game changer
Oh, yeah.
in how
It
you
is.
build a relationship and how you get stuff done.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
I didn't anticipate that question.
That was
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to be anything
I'm going to say something
therapeutic.
different.
Terrible, right? I'm going to have to call my therapist on the way home.
All great conversation is therapeutic, my friend.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I would totally agree with
And
that.
usually when we're talking with people, it becomes therapeutic anyway.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I've had lots of clients say that about my work. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm doing.
No.
Okay.
But it is. I mean, we're, I'll use the expression Ram Dass, we're just all walking each other home, right?
Exactly.
Nobody has all the answers.
That's
And
right.
We assume
Yeah.
somebody does, or we don't, or our answers can't be interesting and valid. That's when the problems start.
Isn't that the truth?
Well, and when
You
you
are
give
so
people
wise.
space to be heard.
I like you,
Oh,
Carol.
thank you. Well, old and wise. It took a few years to get here.
Home on that old part.
Oh my God. He's not calling you old.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about me.
I thank you very much.
I just thought I'd grab onto the word since it was lingering in the air.
Right?
So-
Yeah, same.
So, Lauren, you've worked as a trial attorney,
Yes.
jury consultant,
Yeah.
and now a strategist focused on constructive dialogue. So, what drew you toward helping communities navigate difficult conversations?
Because I think all of my work has led me towards that. My undergrad degree is actually in journalism too, so it was trying to tell stories that would help people understand different parts of the world. But I just genuinely believe that we are better together and that we need all of these different voices and experiences to be able to create solutions that work for all of us. And there aren't enough opportunities to have those conversations. So when you look at something like a jury, that is one of the few spaces in our society where people from all across our society are chosen, right, randomly, not based on anything other than that they are part of this community.
Yes.
And then have to sit together for a period of time to listen to the same information, though they hear different things from the information, which is what's fascinating
Yeah.
when you get to watch group decision making being made. And then are charged with a very clear task. There's a thing they are supposed to work together on. They have a timeline to get it done by. They get compensated for their time. We can talk about whether they get compensated enough for their time, but they do, right? And so that to me is a model for how we can have more of these conversations about things that matter. And I'd like to see that happening more in our civic spaces all over. It's happening in various spaces. We haven't done it so much here yet in Colorado Springs, but it'd be great to see it. But I do, it is fascinating to watch people who seem very, very different have a conversation together, see the humanity in the person sitting across the table from them, and come to very similar solutions. And I watch this over and over again in jury consulting. They would have conversations from all over the place, all these different ideas, but different rooms would come up with basically the same solution.
Yeah.
It was, with some variations, but it's really interesting that over the aggregate you'd have more centered solutions.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you familiar with the jury consulting?
Yes.
So I'm not. I have always skated out of getting into
Oh,
jury.
absolutely.
I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about that. What is that journey?
So when you see it on TV, it's usually somebody sitting in a corner, like watching the jury and like taking notes and doing like micro expressions and things like that. That's not the kind I did. I did more from the qualitative research side, where you were testing, usually often to see like what was the range of liability. So how much do we think a jury might award for this thing? Because it's usually a defense attorney that wants to know. And so they were given like a summary of the case. You'd break them up into different rooms. They'd all hear the case at the same time. They'd send 6 off. You can design it various ways. You're behind a 2-way mirror. Sometimes you can watch them listen or watch them talk. And then you just see how they process the information. So what things did they seize on? What things did they hear? What did they think was important? What did they think was the range of liability? Like how would they answer questions on a jury form? And the conversations were always just fascinating about what they would focus on. Very rarely were they focusing on the things the lawyers thought they were focusing on or wanted them to focus on, right? Yeah. They didn't necessarily want them to pay attention to this thing over here or I remember one, we were trying to figure out liability for a medical negligence case, and it was a grandparent, and the beneficiary of any award would be her grandson, right? And one of the rooms just had a very long conversation about what did he need to have a meaningful life, but also how much is too much money for a young, I think he was 19 at the time, something. How much is too much money for somebody to have right then, and could they structure it in a way that made it, and like things that they couldn't do at all, right? But that they were very interested in making sure that he had what he needed for life, which is not a thing that you would necessarily think, because you're really supposed to be paying attention, like, was the doctor negligent, right? Like, yes. And then how, but it was so fascinating to watch people, what they care about. Yes. And I mean, these are very different people from very different backgrounds. That's the whole point, is you're trying to make sure that you get representative sample of the people that might serve on a jury. Yeah. So anyway, it's research design, but it's group decision making psychology too.
Yes. Right. Oh, interesting.
Were you satisfied?
I am satisfied. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We never talked about this before.
We have, but I think going more into depth, we've had conversation before. It's why she's really good at communications and research.
Yeah. Explains it, right?
Yeah, because for me, because it's a great question you asked, Lisa, because when I met Lauren, I was thinking, okay, this young lady has 2 law degrees, right? Kind of in 2 different concentrations, which is odd in and of itself. But how did that build into Hugspeak? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that flow into Hugspeak? Doing that, right? And you just asked a question that really connected the dots for me. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So
to me, what I do makes sense. Like all the things I done before make sense. But when I talk to other people, they're like, wait, what?
I can almost answer that question, because when I met Lauren, the first time I met her, I don't think I was in business yet.
You
but
were
I was
thinking about it.
Yeah, I was in the transition, and we met at lunch with 2 people that I was shocked they all had connection to each other. And as we got to talking, I was like, God, you are really smart. I'm opening a business, and I want to work together, and we're going to work together. I just don't know how. So, let's just stay connected. But I remember we were talking, and I don't know if you remember this, talking about research, and you said, like, people's lives are in the balance in a jury. So if you're testing branding for soap, or you're testing branding for, or doing communications for, like, the medical society, or developing a brand for something, like, you apply those principles that are human-based, that when they're at their most, poignant, is life or death. You're going to jail, or you're getting a major award. And I thought, that's, like, this stuff matters. So that's how I think that happened. Yeah. I don't know, I wasn't there, but it feels like that's how that happened.
Well, I always wanted people to have, like, small businesses, community organizations, to have access to the same type of information or skills that mostly only exist in, like, Fortune 500s, right? Because they're priced out of people's budgets. But the same things, we all need information. We need to know how to communicate. Right. So I was always trying to figure out how to make that accessible to more people.
Carol.
Yes.
After 2 decades in television media sales, you chose to launch Madwoman. Marketing Strategies.
Sure
I got
did.
stuck on Madwoman.
I know.
Right.
That's okay. That's how people remember me, and that's how people introduce
Great
me.
branding
Yeah.
strategy. I love that, young lady. What motivated you to build an alternative model centered on relationships and community trust?
So I'd worked for big companies. I worked for General Electric when they owned Channel 4 in Denver. My last gig was at Comcast, and then I'd worked when Fox 21 was locally owned and when KRDO was locally owned. And my last couple of years at Comcast, we had gone from let's go out, take good care of our clients, do good work, make lots of money, have lots of fun, to write these reports, give me lists, like the corporatization of everything, which I could have a whole day's worth of podcast on that. But what really dug into me is I realized for me that I had a fairly unique skill set. People are terrified of sales. And people are terrified of sales because they think it's talking someone into
Something.
well, and what somebody doesn't want to do, right? Like, I'm going to try and take your wallet. I'm going to try and, whatever. And I always felt like it's making connection. And if it's the right answer, if it fits, it fits. And if it doesn't, let's part as friends and keep doors open. And so my business model initially, when I started to dig into it, is I had lots of friends who did work in different phases of marketing and advertising. So they were, video producers, or they were web designers, or they were media placement, that sort of thing. And they weren't getting work because they couldn't articulate to somebody why, somebody would be like, well, I place the best media buys or whatever, I'll get you the best cost per point. And the client would be like, I don't even know that I need that. And then I had the ability to take like 18 steps back in a 30,000 foot view and say, okay, what are you trying to do with your business? And so that's my model. And I mean, basically I make money by helping my friends make money. I mean, really, truly, that's my, and it's not always, that one of the biggest challenges I have in business, and I've been doing this for 12 years, talking about getting in my own head, when I get scared, I think there's not enough, I'll do it myself and I'm not going to parcel anything out to anybody else.
Yeah.
And then the business shrinks and then I get too busy and I freak out and I can't do it, it's too much. When I'm in a space of like, there's plenty and I can share it and whatever else, and I exponentially expand the people I'm working with, I expand the business. I have a little bit of FOMO, so I always want to touch everything. And I shouldn't do that.
I can relate to that.
FOMO's bad.
It's true.
Yeah. So, but when I reach out and I bring people in, first of all, interesting things come to me.
Yes.
Like when Lauren and I first started working together, I joked, I was Lauren and another woman, Monica. Lauren thought I could fly. So I'd be like, somebody would go, can we do that?
Still do.
Of course we can do that. And I'd be like, okay, if you think we can do it, we'll do it. And Monica would be kind of Eeyore and be like, no, here's the system and the process. But having those two opposite ends of we can do anything, along with someone who's like, well, here's how the bills are going to get paid. And that's, secret to my success is I'm surrounded by really good people who are way freaking smarter than I am.
Yes, absolutely.
And hardworking.
So, Carol, you work across political, socioeconomic, and industry lines. What's one of the biggest challenges you see when organizations try to communicate in today's divided environment?
Take a little bit of that.
Here's what I think the biggest thing is what I said earlier about getting in your own head. Mm-hmm. I think businesses largely don't have a clue of why someone else needs them. Mm-hmm. And so they open their doors and they're like, we sell ice cream and everybody wants ice cream. It's the best ice cream ever, whatever, and you go, what about lactose intolerant people? Or you're trying to sell it in Alaska, or it's, the wrong flavors or whatever. I'm enough of a capitalist. I believe that there is a business model for everything. You can sell the $250 million thing and only have to have one client. Mm-hmm. You can sell pencils and you have to sell a lot of them. But you have to understand the old term is value proposition. Like, who cares enough? Why do they want it? Do they have the capacity to write you a check? And it's not that there truly is a business model for everybody. There is employment such as it is for everybody. If you're self-aware, if you know what you're best at, if you know what the market will bear, and you make the connections to get there. One of the biggest things when I meet a new client for the first time, I ask a lot of questions about like what they're doing to sell Don't run an ad campaign if you don't know what your sales cycle is, or how often people come buy something, or why someone even cares. You could have the best idea in the world, and you're the only person that likes it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so I think that's the biggest challenge, right? And you went into that too, where
We talk about that all the time.
Totally.
People come to us and they think they want a thing, and then we're trying to figure out why they want the thing. Like,
Right.
What is it you're gonna? No, what are you actually trying to do? I
Right.
hear that that's what you think you need a thing, but do you really need the thing?
we've worked on a number of projects where we have been asked to do one thing, and we get in there and we're like, no, that's not what you need. And
It's true.
and luckily, I don't think we've ever talked ourselves out of business.
I'm sure I have. Not together. I don't think we've
Yeah.
ever done together.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
definitely talked myself out of business.
Well, I have too, and I've had conversations with clients like, can I hire you to do this? And I'm like, you don't have enough money to hire me, and don't you dare
Yes.
hire anybody else.
Yeah.
Let me give you 10 steps. Call me in 6 months, and most of them won't do it.
There's been plenty of times, especially in the marketing world, people come in and they'll say, you know, we want this big marketing campaign, and I'll be like, and I learned a lot of this from you too. And once I understand what they're doing, I'm like, I think you just need to call 10 people.
Totally.
Right? And
totally.
once I understand, like your business
Yeah.
seems like you could just it's 1-to-1. So I think maybe you
Right.
should just look through your phone book.
And I'll
like,
introduce them to you.
Right,
Or-
yeah.
or
Here's
if there's
5
8
people I can tell you to
Totally.
meet. Like,
Totally.
you don't need to pay me to do like 6 months of something.
Totally.
Let's do something simple.
And it's funny because if we were different people,
yeah,
we'd go,
really take the money and go.
or take the money or go, or be like, oh my God, I just lost an opportunity.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You created a different one.
Yes, you did.
You know.
And
Yeah, creative,
you gave them an amazing resource that they did not have, and
Totally.
you provided clarity to them
Totally.
that they probably couldn't see because they were too busy with trying to do what they weren't supposed to be doing in the first place.
Right. On the days when resources are running slow, I'm like, oh my God, I should have charged that
Yes.
person, right?
Yeah.
But 98% of the 206% of the time, it's there. It's there. You just have to be paying attention. And it's, you guys didn't ask the question, but everybody's freaked out about AI. And I get all the time, are you afraid it's going to destroy your business? And I'm like, no, because if you're a thing doing things, then a thing can replace you. If you're a human connecting with humans with
Nothing
some
can
nimbleness and
replace
it.
ideas
Exactly.
and creativity,
Yes.
AI is meant to be a tool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not the computer overlord.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are working to make it that because they
Yes.
make money when they make it that.
Yeah.
And I mean, they'll destroy their own economy, but that's a
Right.
different conversation.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it
Yeah.
goes back to what you said at the very beginning, fit. Like, it's just figuring out what the fit is.
Yeah.
And does it fit? Does it not fit? Where else would it might fit?
Yes.
You know, Lauren, much of your work focuses on dialogue across difference. So why do conversations break down so easily? And what conditions are required for them to actually work?
I think the biggest reason conversations break down is people just don't know how to listen. They just haven't. It's just not something that we teach, right? We are taught how to make a case. We're taught how to write an essay arguing a point. We're taught how to debate and argue. We're not taught how to have conversation. I used to coach speech and debate, and I actually didn't like coaching the debate. I like the research side and the having to think through multiple perspectives side, but the arguing into something side, that's just not how humans do things.
Right.
We do things from a relational perspective, and I think we've all been done a disservice by being taught that we're all rational, because we're not.
We're not.
We're not. We're just not. And even, I mean, like,
Where
there
did
are some
that
people
even
that
come
are.
from?
Yeah.
I mean, does
It
that just
came
make it?
from academics, certain fields of
Yeah.
study that, like, and there are definitely some people who are.
Well,
but
and
not
even the
most of
people that
us.
aren't
They're still
all the
relational.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so learning to listen, I think, is one of those things, and actively listen,
Yeah.
right? Really, not listening to make your next point,
Yeah.
not
Right.
listening to win an argument, but really just sitting with what somebody else has to say.
To understand.
To understand. That's it. Like, that is it. Listen to understand is a whole different skill set than most of us have been ever given.
Yeah.
So once people can learn, and it takes practice too. Like, I
totally
run into
takes
rooms where
practice.
people are like, this should be so easy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It
No.
is. And I mean, even though I've been doing it for years and years and years, like, I get paid to listen to people. I still, there
too.
are times when I'm like, ooh, I'm thinking something, and I'd like to say something, but I can't. Like, but it
Yeah.
takes some practice, and so I think that's it. I mean, like, if we could start having more spaces to practice those skills, if they were taught in schools as part of curriculum, and some schools are doing it.
Right.
We're seeing it more and more that it's a necessary thing to learn. But that's
It's good
really
to try
it.
with family.
Yes.
I mean, even last night I was doing the dishes and, John was over there talking to me and he was saying something and then I was like, oh yeah, and da 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 da. And he's like, wait, can I finish? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
I thought you were done.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, but man, the
Or I
reality
wanted you to be
check.
done.
No, not at all. Like I literally thought he was done, but he wasn't.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Continue. And then, we went on with
You
our
have
evening.
to know our husband as well, because he's not a big talker.
Yeah.
So
He's
when
an
he
engineer.
talks,
He
he
was
has something to
talking.
say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, I'm so
Yes.
sorry. Okay, go.
Well, and I do a lot of workplace empathy workshops too, and I'm still trying to find a better word for an interrupter because it has a negative connotation.
Yeah.
But there are people who do listen. They wait till somebody finishes, and if that person doesn't stop and give them pause, then they don't ever feel like they're heard, right? Then there are the people that need to ask a question right then because that's the only way that they're going to understand what's happening. And the two types of folks, they think the other person's being rude or dismiss it,
Yes.
and it's not. It's just that we have different communication styles.
Yes.
But until we can say that out loud of hey, I'm a person, I'm going to need to ask a question, probably while you're still talking.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
I'm that person.
That's
Yeah.
totally fair, right? That's a way that you process information. Or I'm never going to tell you to stop talking. So if you talk for 20 minutes, I'm never going to,
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop you.
I'm
from
going to
what you're saying.
forget what you said 18 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So just awareness of communication styles and
Yeah.
being willing to make more room for hey, we think we're saying the same thing, we're using the same words, we don't mean it. Can I ask you what you mean by that? Can you give me more context around where that's coming from? That is how to learn to have conversations, but it does take practice. It takes time. We don't always have it. We're sometimes really busy and in a rush.
Yeah.
But if we want to have important conversations, that's how we do it.
Yeah. Well, I make sure that I have it. I do.
You have what?
At the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really do, because you can't really get to know people in running. I mean, when you're running from one place to
Small
another.
talk does not.
So
allow you
it's
to
almost
know.
intentional. You know what I mean? We got an hour. People would say, "Can I have a 15-minute phone call with you, Frank?" I say, "No." What are we going to accomplish?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can try to sell me something or
Yeah.
et cetera.
If
what's
I
gonna
do
happen?
that,
Yeah.
I'll ask people for a 15-minute phone call, but that's for a specific reason. And I'll say, do you have time, 15-minute phone call just to chat on this?
This.
So that everyone's expecting that. We're all ready to talk about it. And that,
Yeah.
But yeah, I like, him and I are big in story with
Yeah.
people's stories.
it's
So
about
that,
story,
yeah, 15 minutes is
I
not
story branded
enough.
with you just the other day.
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes.
sat in a coffee shop.
Because it
and
really.
yeah, it made a difference.
And I can't wait to do the same.
Yeah.
I told them,
Yeah.
we're having coffee.
Because where we come from does inform
Yeah.
a lot of what we mean or what we're understanding or how we understand
Exactly.
it. And if we don't have a deeper context, misunderstanding is super easy at that point.
Absolutely. No, Lauren, you've pioneered
sorry.
using what?
That was my part, but you can go.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, no, you
Okay.
go ahead. You go
Okay.
ahead. You go ahead.
We're getting used to scripting here.
Yeah,
This is our
I know,
team.
yeah.
It's great.
But,
Yeah, they do
okay.
a great job.
They
at
do
this.
an amazing
So we
job.
want to make sure we stay on
Yes.
point. Yeah.
So, Lauren.
Would you edit that, please?
Yeah. You've pioneered using social media as a tool for civil discourse. What have you learned how digital spaces can either fracture or strengthen civic fabric?
It's the same. I mean, same thing about learning how to listen. In digital spaces, we don't have the same visual cues that we have when we're in person. We don't hear tone of voice. We don't see facial expressions. So if I say something in person and I see you sort of go like this, I'm gonna. I mean, most of us will say, "Wait, oh, what happened?" Or at
Yeah.
least change how we
Did I
approach
say
it. Right? We're
something
not
wrong?
speaking. Yes.
Yeah.
What did that mean or something? We just don't have that in digital spaces. And also, all of the digital spaces that we mostly use have been created to incentivize the worst of us. Like the anger things get rewarded, the clickbaity things get rewarded, not complex conversation, right?
Oh
Yes.
my.
Exactly.
How true that
Love
is.
that.
Ah.
Keep talking.
No,
Yeah,
right? And I started writing about this almost 10 years, maybe 8 years ago, I don't remember, because I was like, I love this stuff. This stuff is amazing. This is like accessing the library of human experience in real time. We have humans out there that are telling us all sorts of things about themselves. day in, day out. We can walk along with them in their daily route, where they're going to school, when they're going to work. This is amazing. This is humanity on display and with connection built in. I can then ask that person a question, right? But that's not how most people are using it. And so I was like, I don't get this. I love this. Here's all the ways that I use it. What if I could help people use it the same way? But the reality of how these spaces are constructed is very difficult for some people to sort of get around. You have to be mindful of the fact that you are seeing things that have been promoted by an algorithm that isn't about your health and wellness and productive conversations, and that's just not where it's coming from. No. And a lot of folks don't think about that when they're acting in these spaces. So when we're mindful about it, incredible things happen in digital spaces all the time. Like the whole ability for us to pay attention to what is happening across the globe, participate in it in a meaningful way.
Yes.
By either donating or getting involved or learning about somebody's story. That is unprecedented in human history, at least that we know of. But we have to be conscious about it. And I'm very interested in the what they're calling, I don't know, it gets different names, but the next wave of social media spaces that are hopefully going to be designed without it for the profit motive and the algorithm, like engagement maximizing algorithms, right? That are really designed to connect humans.
You believe that wave's going to actually happen?
People are working on it right now. There are all sorts of people, teams of researchers and human behavior experts. And if anybody's interested in this, I can nerd out about this. There's an organization called New Public, and that's really what they're focused on, is building social media spaces designed for human flourishing.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's kind of academic in some ways, but it's also very people oriented. Yes. And what I always tell people is, we as individuals right now, unless we know how to code and create an entire social network, which I do not know how to do, we have these spaces that have been created. They operate a certain way, but if we abandon them, just like if we abandon a park, any other public space, right, they become overgrown, the lights go out, they become scary, bad things happen. But when we populate them, when we show up and we say, okay, we're going to clean this up, we're going to make this a space where we all hang out, they become spaces that are for gathering and where we can all connect and be safe. We have a role and responsibility in the spaces as they currently exist. For those of us that use them, I mean, plenty of people have completely opted out, and I totally understand that, right? I mean, there's a reason to do that too. But if we're going to use them, let's use them responsibly, and let's beautify them the same way that we would walking down the street in our public parks.
Wow. Yeah. That was amazing. You said, okay, you got that recorded? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Good thing it was on.
Put my earphones and just listen to it over and over. So have a conversation. Carol, listen, young lady, through your work in volunteer leadership, you've helped connect nonprofit boards and campaigns to broader audiences. How do trusted relationships change the effectiveness of the message?
Oh gosh. It's so simple, right? Like if I get a random email, I was just visiting with a nonprofit that asked me to help them do some sponsorship sales. And in the past, I would take those on kind of a project by project basis and kind of be a gun for hire. And now I really work to teach them how to do it, because I can't possibly sell for them better than they can sell for themselves. Yes. Like I can tell a pretty good version of their story.
On this, like we're very much on the same page about this.
Yeah. So I was chatting with the gentleman that's doing it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to send out an email campaign," and I'm like, "That's great, but if I get." All of us probably do get 1 million emails a day from nonprofits, even nonprofits I care about. But if I'm looking at my email and I have 200 emails in my inbox, those are all going away. If I'm visiting with somebody from a nonprofit with something that I care about, that's the hard work. And that's when people get worried about like AI, AI is going to make you so much money. I've been approached about running fundraising campaigns, digital fund, and a lot of them work. We got approached recently, 6 months ago, by a national nonprofit to run a digital fundraising campaign. And when we approached them, we were like, we wanted to talk to them about their back-end technology and their relationships and their largest donors and all that kind of thing. And they were like, no, we just want a ton of impressions. And I'm like, you guys aren't hearing us. I can blast a ton of impressions about something to people that don't care, to people that don't understand what you do, to people that don't have any money, that, so the relationship the connection to that work. I'm actually coaching most of my paid advertising clients right now to leave aside some money to support some key nonprofits, either nonprofits that are appropriate to what they do, that have a connection to the work that they do, that they happen to like, that there's a reason for their business. And when I coach the nonprofits who are looking to fundraise, I say, understand there are people who will give you money because they fund this particular cause. There are people who will give you money because they're just good philanthropists. There are people who give you money because they love the work you do, or the work is germane to their business, or your audience is appropriate to them for business. All of those things matter when you're doing these connections. And if you don't look at all of those things, you are literally wasting money. Unfortunately, I think when Haiti had the earthquakes or floods or whatever, horrible things in Haiti, that the Red Cross made $1 billion because, I don't know, Hillary Clinton or Michelle Obama or somebody put out a campaign. It was a moment in time that had a ton of earned news media attached to it. And it was a genuine humanitarian crisis that everybody could get on board with for $10. If it's a local, and it's a unicorn, right? It's a unicorn that happens.
Sure.
You're not going to do, like, the stars have to be aligned right. Not to say, and it's the Red Cross and everybody knows who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing about blasting emails, right, the relationship building, nobody's doing the research on how that's damaging relationships.
Exactly.
They're just going, oh, we had this percentage return and we had to only spend this much to get it.
Right.
They have no idea how many people just decided to opt out from ever hearing
Absolutely.
anything from them again.
Yeah.
Right, just decided we're never going to support you.
And opting out isn't canceling the newsletter, it's just deleting it.
Right.
So,
Ignore.
Carol, you just tapped into, for organizations or leaders trying to build momentum for a cause, what's one principle they should focus on amplifying their message?
I think looking at what currently exists. We often talk about, doing a SWOT analysis, right? Risks and all that sort of thing. And often people worry about competition. What's Walmart doing?
Yeah.
Run your own race, right? Look internally. Look at what is our staff like? What's our revenue like? What's our sales cycle? What's that? Dig into that first, because when you understand that, you can take what works and make it better, throw away or improve what's not working. And I think that before you tell anyone your story, you gotta understand what your story is.
Mic drop right there. Carol with the K, everybody. You're welcome.
I'm gonna have to get a mic so I can drop it.
That's what we get for Christmas, Carol.
I know, big, like a big one. I want a big one.
Get a rubber one.
Yeah, exactly. So it bounces back out. That's brilliant.
Business idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Lauren, for community members feeling discouraged by division right now, what encouragement would you give them about the possibility of rebuilding connection?
Oh, I mean, that you can start right now. You can start with something really small. Whoever you're having challenges with, whoever you've written off, go ahead and give them a call and try to have coffee or have a conversation. Asking people where they're at, what they're thinking, why. I mean, I think a lot of what's happened in our society right now is because of social media. We're seeing very small pieces of people, and we're deciding that that's all of them. And it may feel like that. I mean, if you see somebody and all they ever post is this one thing all the time, right? Like, it feels like that's all they care about. But that's not all they care about. They also have 4 rescue dogs, and they take meals to the senior center, and they, there's a million, they hike every Saturday. I mean, there's so much more to people than the little pieces that we now see in these feeds that come into our spaces. That it does require more effort on our part to remember that there are whole human beings behind all those things, and find those things to connect with. But I'm a huge believer in just have a conversation.
Yes, have a conversation.
I love that.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, 'cause just last night, I reconnected with someone that we had some tension and thing, and I sent a message, said, let's have coffee.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this, right? And et cetera, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And he said, yes, let's do that.
I really think it's that bringing back that human touch, that there are things that need to be talked about in person.
Yeah.
Or on the phone.
Totally.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But focus on the shared humanity, right?
Yes.
Like, that's the piece it's so easy to demonize or decide that
So
somebody
lazy.
is,
It's
you know.
a lazy person's way out.
It
Totally.
is.
It really is.
Well, and
yeah.
today with the whole texting back and forth, that
Mhm.
just drives me bananas. At first, when it first came out, I loved it. I loved the efficiency of it.
Yes.
But now it's so cold. It's turned
Yeah.
cold. And so.
Well, and people text in different. I mean, this is one of the things I think is so fascinating. I have a friend who is the most effusive person in person, and her texts are so brusque that I'm like, "What is?" It's just she's so different in text than she is in person.
Yeah.
And once I understood that, it was fine. But like that, there was a study a while ago, and I don't remember how long ago it was, that said that emoji usage is as distinct or more distinct than fingerprints. That we all use them our own way, and unless we know what the other person means when they're using it, we may not have any idea what they're actually punctuating it with.
Yes,
or what,
exactly.
what that connotation
That's so
is.
funny because I use explanation marks a lot. And she thought I was yelling
I
at
keep
her.
telling you, that's yelling, Frank.
And it was the total opposite.
Into something to Gen Z.
Yeah.
Like periods are mean. Periods
Yeah,
are-
period.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bam! In the conversation.
I'm the queen of
And we
dot, dot,
talk about
dot.
it in
Are you?
Yeah. Because I haven't finished my thought, but I don't know what the rest
Yeah.
is yet.
And it comes up when we talk about intergenerational communication all the time, but it's not. I mean, there's generational stuff too, but like there is individual stuff about how we use these things and why and what our reasoning is.
For me, I'm excited about our conversation. That's what those mean.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Now you know.
I know. Well, he says that,
I know,
and then I go
right?
back to the exclamation point, and I'm like, is he having a bad day?
Or all caps, right?
Yes,
There's all sorts of
exactly.
things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, oh, totally.
But that's a good, you just brought the point home, which is you ask the question.
Yeah.
Right, rather than assumed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thankful for that.
Yes.
Instead of walking around with this thing that's building between us.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you for asking.
Yes. I like our
I'm
open
just excited
communication.
about you, girlfriend, because you rock like that. No?
Let's go. Be encouraged. You know, I gotta say, I didn't know what to expect today. I mean, I have not sat down with either one of you guys, and you, what you bring here to the world, truly. Are you just doing local in community, or are you doing it to the world?
I mean,
You're more worldly.
when I talk about the social media stuff, I tend to have more global presence.
Which
I have
is
a lot of people
fabulous.
in the UK and Europe that pay attention to some of the stuff that I'm hooked into.
Right.
And it's interesting because especially when we're talking about civic engagement in digital spaces or things like deliberative democracy, we don't do it as often here. I don't mean here physically in Colorado Springs. I mean in America.
In America.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing to be interested in these kinds of things, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're having to have conversations at like starting at ground zero." That there's no assumption that this is a good thing necessarily, or you should be engaging in it. So yeah.
But I love that you're both tying in the human component of business and then across social media. I miss doing our Instagram lives because we were going around the world with that.
Oh, fun.
And same as you, like it's different talking to someone in another country, but you find commonalities. And that was the beauty of unpacking that.
The human thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, ladies, my big takeaway from both of you today is number one, you're both brilliant.
Yes.
I really, I mean this really, and what you bring to humanity is substantial, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to say I can take that away, and what I'm infusing hope and an opportunity and a way out and a connector and all those things that we so desperately need today. So thank you both for coming in on our show. And Lisa's going to ask you a question that's really, really incredible.
I know, right? So no pressure.
As you know, our whole mission is to infuse hope and encouragement to the world, which you guys are doing yourselves, truly.
Yeah.
We want to give you each a moment, Lauren, since you're the panel host. I'm going to start with you. I would like you to look at that camera, let them know, first of all, your offering and how to reach you, and then I want you to encourage the world.
Okay. I don't know what my offering is.
Yeah, right? I know, right? Just call me, I'll have coffee. I feel like that's mine.
I guess that's my offering. Yeah. So you want to have a conversation? I'm happy to have one. To be encouraged.
Yes.
I just think that we can together build things better. We are the solutions that we need.
Awesome. How can they reach you?
Oh, do you want like social media? Like,
Sure, whatever.
So you can find, like, what do you mean? You can find me on Facebook because my account is public. You can find me on Threads, which is my new favorite social media platform because people talk there.
Yeah,
Is it under your name?
It is. It's actually under HugSpeak. It's at HugSpeak, and then of course LinkedIn under my name. So those are probably the easiest ways to connect. And then I have a website, of course, hugspeak.com.
Same
You're
question.
next, Carol.
All right. I would say just easily, I love having coffee and I love meeting new people. Probably the easiest way to catch me is via phone or text, which is 719-649-3987. And it may blow up, but that's okay. I don't
She's
mind.
single too, apparently. There's no ring.
I know there is no ring.
We threw that in for free.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But you have to,
That's going to be the outcome of this.
yeah, I know, right? You have to like dogs, and you have to not mind traveling in flip-flops. So,
Oh, nice.
but yeah, you know what? I think we're better than we're not, you know? And I think that the encouragement is we, think of the best and the worst of yourself. That's what everybody else is too, is the best and worst. And if you don't want to be judged by your worst, maybe you don't want to judge somebody else by their worst.
What was that last 4 digits?
Oh,
Put in
3987.
okay. I want to put it in my phone as well.
Okay,
I have
thank
a
you.
different
Yeah,
phone
thank you.
than when you and I used to connect. So
It's been a minute.
yeah,
Yeah,
doggone
it's
you.
overdue.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought her on.
Yes,
Yeah, we've
me
been able to
too.
reconnect.
She
Yeah.
didn't even tell me what it was. I was
I was like,
Really?
why don't you? I mean, kind of thought you knew. Yeah,
I
so
kind of
do
knew
you go
because
to podcast?
I was like,
She
oh, it's Frank.
Yeah.
But,
Do you know his video?
no.
Oh, good thing you look sharp.
Okay.
She
I
always
didn't even
looks
see
good.
She always looks good.
Some days I
Don't worry
do
about
come
it.
from yoga, so it could have gone bad.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, I've never seen you.
Okay, good.
We're sponsored by Brandon Kirk from Planet Duck.
Yes, he's the owner of Planet Duct, and he has the largest vacuums, strongest vacuums. And what is his slogan again, Frank?
Yeah, they're stronger than the vacuum of space. And Brandon and his family, with his 3 children, are just incredible. I know them personally. We've had a great opportunity to know them. He's a great family man. 25 years, been married to, what is his wife's name? Gaba?
Gaba. And she's a beautiful artist, and yes, they have an amazing farm as well. But he loves the Colorado Springs. His give back throughout all local businesses in town is amazing, and we sure do appreciate him in town.
And one last thing, many of you didn't know this, but Brandon has mentored many small business people in this community.
Yes.
His give back to our community is exceptional. So they really are.
Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Look up Planet Duck.
So that's it for the episode of today's Be Encouraged. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook, and join us on our conversation at beencouraged.net.
We bring great humans to bear in our community, and you're welcome. And we had an opportunity to do that again today, because at the Be Encouraged show, we are real talk, real growth, real Colorado.
Stay encouraged.